What's good, people? We are here to talk about some NBA Live 16. Every year I play both games, to try to see which one is better. Pretty much, I'll be honest with you. Going into it, I pretty much already know 2K is probably going to be better, right? But this year, things could be a little bit different. I would still say if we were like handicapping the game or picking the odds or whatever, 2K is still definitely the favorite, right? Favorite to be the better game, right? But it's definitely not as much of a landslide as we're used to seeing it. Just looking at the graphics. Graphically, Live has really taken some significant strides. Just from just a lot of the little features that they've added. Most of it's gameplay and animation stuff. So just looking at some of the stuff they talked about doing smoother dribbling. They're saying that fans are going to notice the small changes made to the gameplay, including now you can do dribble handoffs. If you ever try to do a close pass in 2K, you'll notice you can't actually hand the ball off, and that's a really big part of the game in terms of in pick and roll. So it's kind of more of an animation thing, but Live is saying that they're going to incorporate it in a way that's so smooth that it actually helps the gameplay move smoother. So it's going to be something interesting to see because smooth gameplay is not something that's always been a hallmark of the Live series. So we'll see about that. And they have new dribbling animations. In total, they said there's 9,000 new animations. Last year, I believe there were less than 1,000. So that's significant. And they're saying that they've been building tech over 2 years. They're going to serve as the foundation of this game. I also talked about sharper passing, which was an issue before. You couldn't really hit a guy in stride. Every time you pass the ball, the guy had to stop and catch it. So it kind of messed with that whole fluidity of basketball that you really want to see. We talked about the animations. They said they did 5-on-5 mocap animations. So the entire scene is moving and guys are supposed to move and react realistically. And I think I said 9,000 new animations. It's actually 8,000. Well, hey, not too bad, right? And they said they're building this game off of community feedback. Now, let's talk about these graphics again, though. You're looking at the different guys, and you're seeing you're gonna see a few close-ups of guys in a second that are really going to make it shine through. And you can see it here. I didn't particularly like the J.R. Smith image. Not saying so much that it didn't look like him. I felt that from the player model standpoint, his body still looked boxy, and that's an issue that I just kind of have with the live player models. They don't look as though they're going with a bunch of different varied body types. A lot of guys pretty much are built, pretty similar. For the most part in basketball, you can almost get away with that. But that next level is actually having the different body types. 2K is scanning body types this year. So we're going to see, how much of a variation we see with that. But just talking about Live, though, the lighting and the visuals are clearly improved. In a major way. There's still a few guys you're going to see in this video. There's a few guys who still could look a little bit better. The Jimmy Butler is good, but it looks like his head is a little too thin. And just look at when the Jimmy Butler picture comes up, and I hate to pick at stuff too much, but you're going to see, and I'm about to show you this Jimmy Butler image. Look at the way Jimmy Butler's jersey fits. That's the only small issue that I still have with Live's player models. It's really small, but it's almost like it don't fit like a real jersey. And I think they actually scanned the fabric of the jerseys this year, so that's going to help with that, with the cloth movement technology. But the way it is just sitting here static, kind of the only thing. But you're nuts if you don't see the improvement that the game has made from a visual standpoint. Now, here's one thing that I like. They're saying that they've nailed down players' likenesses, attitude, and emotion. So we're talking about having guys, who, if you got a guy who's emotional on the court, that's supposed to shine through. That whole nine, you're going to see the LeBron render, which is pretty good, I think. Pretty good. I wouldn't say excellent, but pretty good. They're scanning guys now, which at first that wasn't taking place. And now the other thing that they're doing too is they're not just scanning players. They're in the fabric of the jerseys. They're scanning accessories, shoes, socks, environments, and more. And I'm reading this directly from EASports.com. So they're saying the same level of detail seen on players is going to be seen in everything else. Of the renders that they've shown so far, the only one that I have any sort of major issue, and it's just, I don't even know if major is the right, but Victor Oladipo, I didn't think that Victor Oladipo's, and his is coming up, you'll see his in a second, I didn't think his was as good as it should be. I thought it was missing a little bit of here and there, but we'll see like ultimately how this looks. But some of the emotions and expressions that I was talking about a little bit earlier, and this, like I said, is coming directly from the EASports.com. You can have a player show that he's mad, dejected, thrilled, whatever they might be feeling. All of these emotions are easily distinguishable on players' faces. With that said, the team focused on making sure their facial animations were on point. Players look alive. And another thing to notice is that the players don't have that dead look in their eyes anymore. Before, players just couldn't emote at all, so they just had this stale, old school look on their eyes. And back in the day, we didn't care anything about that. We just happy to have dudes have on the right jerseys or whatever, right? But nowadays, with the way that you've seen so many games just up the ante in regards to player likenesses, got to do it. So they said since they completely overhauled the facial animation system, utilizing 100% accurate scan data, players behave and react more like their real-life counterparts, and that there's more natural movement of the skin on top of the cheek, brow, chin, and jawbones. And if you look at it, you're going to see an image coming up of Swaggy P. In my opinion, that's the best render. I mean, the Andrew Wiggins is really good, but when the Nick Young is stellar. I mean, ridiculously good. I mean, it's really, really exceptional. So, and if you even look at the tats that they got. Now, here's one thing that I'm wondering, because this is something that's been an issue, and for some reason it feels like it's only an issue in football. Because in Madden, with Colin Kaepernick, he's the only one who has tattoos in, and it was because the tattoo artist supposedly has to give the rights to the game to allow them to recreate his tattoos. Well, that never seems to be an issue in the NBA games, and there's actually even more tattoos showing. So what I'm wondering is, are the NBA teams, and I'm talking about 2K and Live, are they getting permission to put these tattoos in, or are they just getting look-alike tattoos? So they're not actually using the real tattoos, they're just putting look-alike tattoos on the body in that area. So all you have to do is change it up a little bit, and it would still look like that from a distance. And I don't need 100% accurate tattoos. I mean, if the guy has a sleeve and it's got some blue and some orange in it, just give him a sleeve with some blue and orange in. I mean, that doesn't bother me. I would much rather them spend some time and production time and money on something else that I think is going to be more, make more of a difference in how the game actually plays, or a feature or something like that I might actually want to have in the game. So, but they talk a little bit more about lighting. Let's see. They said nearly every single asset in the game was worked on or tweaked from a visual illumination perspective. A big part of this includes the color correction made across the board, which gives a more broadcast quality look and feel to the visuals. You know me. I'm a sucker for the TV style broadcast. I'm the guy who plays both NBA 2K and MLB, the show, from a view that I totally admit is not the best view to play on, but it's the one that looks the most like television, so of course that's why I like it. If I could play Madden at all in the TV style look, I would do it in a second, but you just absolutely cannot play Madden that way, so I'm always a fan of that. They say textures and tones and even sweat, jersey colors and skin tones on different players are also much more accurate, resulting in better skin textures and sweat effects. This is the culmination of a 3-year process to improve visuals for NBA Live, and they're just getting started. So essentially what we're looking at is, I guess this is what Live has been working on since they decided to come back to the whole thing. And hopefully it works out. I mean, competition is always good, and I think we're going to at least have that this year. That's all I got so far on Live. I appreciate you guys watching. God bless and peace.